Hello, 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 and welcome back to an episode of Jules on the Couch. I'm so excited, so grab a seat. We have a lot to talk about today. First, I will be drinking my Liquid Death Squeezed to Death. This is my favorite flavor. I have tried the other ones, but I just come back to this one. I do not have a straw today. I can't open this with one hand. And my boyfriend is always looking at me like, oh, it's so cute. You can't open it. You have to open it with two hands. Like, hold it. So yesterday I was journaling. I actually haven't journaled in a very long time. I used to a lot, and it really helps me get all my emotions out, get all my feelings out. And I love looking back and seeing just the changes that I've made, or if like I wrote a goal down and it came true, blah, blah, blah. So yesterday I was writing in my journal about how I missed my mom because, as you guys know, grief comes in waves. And if you've been watching me, or if this is your first time watching me, my mom passed away in 2024. And of course, I'm still grieving it. It's only 2025. So there are times when the grief, it hits me and I cry and I'm upset, and I will go sometimes and journal. So yesterday when I was writing in my journal, I had a thought. Basically, the thought was, you can go to God with your problems. You can go to him with your sadness. You can go to him with your secrets that maybe you haven't told anybody. And that's kind of what I wanted to talk about today, because if you're like me and in your past, or maybe right now, you are going through something and you would rather not bother people with your problems, you would rather not talk about it with them. And it takes a second to be able to even talk to people about things that you're dealing with, because it's hard. You're being vulnerable. You're sharing your emotions. You don't want to come off as weak. You don't want to cry in front of people. Like, there's a lot of reasons why people do not like going to people with their problems. And when people are going through a time in their life that is a difficult time, and they're not going to people with their problems, and they don't go to God with their problems, they go to no one and nothing with their problems or with how they're feeling. And they sit at home and they're depressed and they're sad and they're anxious and they're freaking out and they are stressed out and they don't know what to do and they're not sleeping. I just want to let everyone know that if you don't have anyone to go to, or if you don't want to go to someone, you can always go to God. And even if you don't believe in him, I just really push you and urge you to give it a try. I'm going to start with a little story, because I used to really hate going to anybody with any of my problems. And even to this day, there are times when I want to cry. Like, a song will come on that reminds me of my mom, but I'm in the car with people, or I am out and about and I see something that reminds me of her, and all I want to do in that moment is just cry. And sometimes I will go to the bathroom and cry, or I will just not cry and just hold it all in and pretend everything is okay and not tell anyone. And I don't need to tell people everything, but I also don't want to feel alone in my problem, in my sadness. And I could go to someone, I could talk to someone about it, but like I said in the beginning, sometimes you don't want to go to anybody. You don't want to bother someone with your problem. Maybe they don't understand. They can't possibly understand what you are even going through. Like, they haven't lost anybody. It could be any problem that you have. And I just remember when I was taking care of my mom when she was on hospice, and I was obviously going through it. I was very sad. I don't even know like how I got through that time in my life. And it was a few months of taking care of her, and I remember there was just times where I would go to the bathroom and I would cry. I would go to my car and I would cry because obviously I didn't want my mom to hear me crying about her. So I would go somewhere and cry, and I would escape and go be alone to get my emotions out. But in that time in my life, that is when I prayed so much. I never really like prayed that much like during the day. Like I would pray at night, sometimes in the morning, but I wouldn't really randomly pray during the day. And I found myself in those moments where I was extremely sad, praying during the day, asking God to, help me to feel better, to help me to be strong, to help me to get through what I needed to get through, to wake me up, to give me the strength that I need to just wake up and keep going and get through the day and take care of my mom and like somehow take care of myself. I had to ask God so many times just to help me, because if you think about it, in that moment, I'm not going to call my friend and tell her everything that's going on and how I'm feeling and expect her to be able to help me. Like, I didn't want to call anyone and unload on them with what I was going through because it's like they wouldn't be able to relate to it. And also, I just don't want to do that. Like, it's not that I don't think that those people would be there for me. It's just if you just don't want to go to people with certain problems because you're like, this is my problem and nothing you say can fix it. Nothing you say will make it better. Me talking about it to you isn't even going to help me feel better. And because I'm talking to you about it, but I'm also thinking about how you are perceiving me. And I'm thinking about how you're struggling to come up with the words to tell me to help me feel better. So in the end, it's never going to make me feel better. So that is when you go to God. That is when you pray to Him, because God is always there, ready to listen to you, ready to be there for you, ready to love you. And He's just there. Like, He knows what you're going through because He's lived this, He's walked the earth, He's dealt with so much death during the time that He was on the earth, living in a human body, that He knows what grief is. He knows how you're feeling exactly. He knows you. He knows you in and out, and He knows how to be there for you. And even though you can't necessarily see God or always hear Him, I believe, well, you can hear Him. Maybe you can't always see God, but there are times when I would pray and I would almost feel a warmth around me. Like I would feel like someone was almost hugging me. I would feel this immense warmth around me. And sometimes in my head, I would imagine like God sitting next to me, listening to me, putting His arm around me, being like, it's okay, I'm here for you. And I would actually feel that feeling. And then, there are times when I would actually hear Him speak to me and say, like, I'm here, it's okay. Like, so many times where I have felt His presence immensely. And yes, I did grow up believing in God, but I feel like even if you don't, even if you didn't, if you're sitting there and you're going through something and you get down and you pray and you're like, God, help me, like you are going to feel a presence. You're going to feel something. And don't you notice, like, people that don't even believe in God, when they're going through it, they sometimes will pray. They sometimes will be like, God, why is this happening? God, help me. Because they don't know what else to do. Because they don't know who else to go to. God is always there. God is always listening, and God is always the resort that you should go to, because He's always going to be there, and He's always going to be listening, and He's always going to know how to help you, how to build you up strong, how to get you through the situation that you're going through, how to make you feel like you're less alone, how to make you feel like you're not a burden, and you don't have to be ashamed about going to Him, and you don't have to worry about Him telling other people about you coming to Him. You don't have to worry about what he's thinking and how he's thinking about what he should say to make you feel better. You're not thinking about that because it's God, and you know that God is all love and wants to be there for you. A lot of us deal with silent suffering. And don't you notice in movies where someone maybe is depressed and maybe offs themselves, even in real life, people that are going through so much are always the people that are smiling the most, that are being talkative, that are acting like everything's okay at home, that are acting like they're not going through any internal struggles, and they put on the happy face and they exhaust themselves emotionally by pretending to be this positive, happy person. That person is usually the most upset, carrying all this weight around, and they're there for their friends, and they're there, to be the shoulder to cry on. But at the end of the day, they go home, they're depleted, and they're going through so much on their own that now they don't even know what to do, because they don't want to go to their friends, because they're always the person that, is leaned on. They don't want to go to anybody about it because they don't want to bother anyone. They're ashamed. They don't want to talk about it. They don't want to open up. The time of faking it and smiling and pretending like everything is okay and acting like everything is fine to your friends is done. And I understand completely not wanting to talk to someone about it, not wanting to talk to your friends about it, but what I encourage you to do is to talk to God about it. Because I tell you right now, I talk to God mostly when I am going through things. Like, yeah, I'll kind of tell my friend, maybe my best friend or my sister or maybe my boyfriend. But when I'm really going through it, like an embarrassing, I know it's not embarrassing, but like an embarrassingly amount where I feel like really low, I do not want to bother people with that. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to put it on them. I don't want them to be nervous for me or scared for me about how I'm feeling so dark and so depressed and so low and not like myself. I don't want to do that. And so I would go to God in those moments. And, I remember so many times going to God when I was feeling very depressed, and I would just pray, please help me to be happy. Please help me to just have energy to get up and get going every day. Please help me with that, because I don't know what to do. And I would surround myself with prayer, with constant talking to God, with listening to music, worship music. And slowly but surely, you feel like you're actually able to unload on someone without the guilt feeling of unloading on someone. If you can't open up to your friends, just know you can open up to God always. So the truth about God's invitation to you is that He will never turn away from you. He will never roll His eyes at you. He will never turn His back to you. He will always be there for you no matter what. He wants you to come to Him. He wants you to know how powerful His love is and how, seeking His presence, He will come and He will show Himself to you, and He will comfort you, and He will be there for you, and you will feel so much better. He wants you to know that, you know what? I understand. You don't want to go to your friend because she's dealing with a zillion things. You don't want to go to your parents. You don't want to go to your sister because they're going through so much on their own time, like so much on their own, that you can come to me. And He wants you to know that even in your loneliest moment, even when you don't even have friends, maybe, even when you don't have anybody, maybe you don't have anybody, you're at home by yourself, depressed, sad, dealing with a lot, you have no one to turn to. That is when God wants you to know, I am here. I am here because I have had moments in my life where yes, I had people in my life, but it didn't feel like I truly had someone that I can just unload. Here's all my problems. Here's what I'm going through. Here's what I'm stressing out about. Here's what I'm dealing with. Like, I don't want to do that to anybody. The person I probably go to the most is like my best friend and like my sister and my boyfriend. Those are the three people that I would go to the most. But it's like, even then, I held back how deeply upset I was or sad I was, how much I was truly hurting inside. I didn't want to put that on them, and I didn't want them to worry. You don't want people to worry about you. But the thing is God will always be there, and he is always not worrying about you, but because he knows that he can fix it and he knows where you're headed, but he is always concerned. There we go. God is always concerned about your emotions, about what you're going through, about how you're feeling. And when you go to him, that's showing him like, hey, I don't know, like if you don't believe in God, I'm saying if you don't believe in God, you go to him, you're like, hey, I don't even believe in you. I don't even know who you are. I don't know anything about you. I'm going through something really bad right now. I have no one to go to. I have no one to talk to. I don't want to talk to anybody. I don't know what to do. I'm stuck. Like, help me. Help me. I'm not saying all your problems are going to disappear the next day, but in that moment, you're going to feel better. You're going to feel better. You're going to feel like someone is actually listening to you. Someone is sitting with you in the room, listening to you, comforting you, and caring. Someone is giving you their love, and that someone is God. And even if you don't believe, that's what I'm saying. Like, even if you don't, I think that it's important to just know that you always have God to fall back on. And I feel bad for the people. This is why I'm saying it. This is why I'm making this episode, is because I know that some people, they don't know that. They forget that. They don't know. I know how it feels when you really don't want to go to someone with something. When you really, really messed up, you made a big mistake, or you have a big secret, or you're dealing with an addiction. You know, there's certain things that, like, yeah, you should go to someone, but you're too embarrassed dealing with it on your own. And I know exactly what that is like. So knowing that you have God to go to is a comfort, because he wants to be your refuge. And I know it says that in the Bible somewhere. I don't know the exact verse, but God is your refuge. He wants you to go to him. One of my favorite verses actually is 1 Peter 5:7. Cast all your anxieties onto the Lord because he cares for you. He cares for you. Another verse, never will I leave you, never will I forsake you, because he's always there for you, because he cares for you. The thing is that people can't understand everything that you're going through, but God can. You might be going through something like an eating disorder, an addiction of some sort, something maybe that you did that you really regret. Maybe you're really sad about something that happened and you just feel embarrassed by it and you don't want to talk about it. Maybe you're mad, and it's like when you're by yourself, when you're alone, you face those scary feelings and you cry and you get upset about it. Or maybe you're even stressed. Your whole body feels like it's just full of rocks and you feel so heavy because all this stress is on you and everyone's counting on you. Like you have a family that's like, hello, like they're counting on you to always be the one that has a smiling face, that has it together, that's gonna like take care of everyone else. And if you break, that's gonna make your own whole entire family break. They're gonna be like, what? Like, you're like, my parent, my dad, my mom is breaking down. Like something's wrong. But if you go to God, then you don't have to worry about that breakdown, about that when you just can't take it anymore and you do unfold and your real emotions do come out with a friend, with a family member, and you really show how sad you are or how angry you are about something. Like, that's not the way you want it to come out. You want to go to God, because when you go to him, you can even ask him how to address the problem, how to fix the problem, how to get through it. Like, I just remember every single day when I was taking care of my mom in hospice, every single day I would pray the same, almost like say the same thing in a prayer, which was, God, please help me to be strong. Please help me to have the energy to get up, to do what I need to do, to get done what I need to get done. Please help me mentally prepare for what can happen. Please help me to be able to be there emotionally for others, for my mom, for my family, because it's a tough time right now. And I know that my family needs me, and they need my support and my comfort. And if I'm not strong, and if I'm not able, and if I'm not have the energy to get up, then what's going to happen? I didn't have a choice to not take care of my mom. I had to get up every day and take care of her, whether I wanted to or not. So praying for that strength is what literally got me up every day, do what I need to do. And at the end of the day, I pray again because I was exhausted, and I had so much sadness built up that I would have to hide during the day. And at the end of the day, when I would pray to God and I would unload on him all my problems, all the sadness, all the pain, he was there for me. That is why to this day, nothing, literally nothing, can break the faith that I have in God, because he has gotten me through the darkest time of my life. And I know that people out there, if you've gone through a very, very, very dark time, and you get out of it on the other side, and you're good now, and you're happy now, and you're living your life, and of course you're still dealing with the repercussions of what happened, you look back on yourself and you go, wow, like, I am strong. Like, I got through that. Like, give yourself the credit too, because you also went through and got through that. And God helped you to get through that. It's so much better having God than being alone. And just know that it's so much better to have God than to be alone. So I strongly encourage you, if you're new to believing in God, or if you already do and maybe you don't go to him in this way, I encourage you to really go to him in this way. So I love to end my episodes with something that you can take with you. So the mantra that you can use when you are completely at your wit's end and you don't have anyone to go to and you feel the weight of the world on your shoulders, you can say out loud to yourself, I am not alone. I am not alone. Because you're not alone. And even though you may sit and actually physically be alone, you're not alone. And whether you believe in God or not, God is still near you, even if you don't believe in him. He's still near you. And if you go to him, he's going to be right there. So say, I am not alone. I am not alone. I am not alone. And cast all your problems onto God. Cast them all. Cast all your stress, cast all your anxiety, cast all your fears onto him. I hope that this helped. I hope that it resonated, and I hope that you take my advice. But who knows? Do with it what you will. Do with it what you will. But until next time, I love you so much. Au revoir.